Hi everyone, if you're watching this, it means you are a oh boy, did that go bad. I know what you're all seeing right now, so we're going to have to just wait this one out. I just stepped outside from air conditioning and my screen is all foggy. That's better. One of the hazards of doing these things in high humidity areas. So what I was saying was, if you are watching this, it means that you are a supporter of this channel, and I thank you. And this is going to be our Patreon sponsor video. You're the only people that can see this one, and you see a little bit of humidity coming back, but I think we're going to be okay. So I'm walking around the grounds of my resort. I'm at Pop Century Resort at Walt Disney World, and occasionally I'll show you some of the things that we are looking at. And I just thought I'd fill you in on what's going on this week. I got down to Florida almost 2 weeks ago. I had other things that I had to do in Orlando, so I thought while I was down here I'd take an extra week. And I actually stayed at 3 different hotels. A weird thing happened. This hurricane was coming. And I fully understand hurricanes, believe me. Although I have never lived through one, I know a lot of people who have. We have family property that has been damaged by hurricanes, so I'm familiar with hurricanes. And I do understand the importance of warning people. But sometimes, unfortunately, I think that weathermen get a little overzealous. This happens up north too with winter storms. And rather than reasonable warnings, people get panicked. So anyway, it was just interesting. They were talking about the storm, and of course hurricanes, you never know what direction they're going to head. So I was staying at a hotel. I was supposed to check in to this hotel on Monday, and I bumped up my reservation 2 days. I'd already paid for the other place, so I was paying for 2 hotels for a couple of days. But anyway, I thought I would get in here early at Pop Century because, and I'm sorry for the noise that you're hearing right now, but they're doing cleaning and they're doing blasting of sidewalks and that type of thing. So I'll try to move to a different park. See a Lady and the Tramp behind me? Well, it's Tramp. I'm looking at Lady. So I moved into Pop Century on Saturday. We thought Monday was going to be when Dorian made landfall. Of course, Dorian never did make landfall. I thought Monday would be a really tough day to be moving hotels because there's Lady behind me now. There she is. I thought that it'd be a really tough day to be changing hotels because it would probably be really stormy and rainy. As it turns out, it wasn't. Boy, this humidity is something, isn't it? But anyways, I did move into Pop Century, and everybody was expecting this hurricane. And as a result, they went to batten the hatches. And we were seeing it on the grounds, and they were covering things up. Anything glass was removed, tables were moved, all kinds of stuff. So the upshot was, we did not have the hurricane. It did not hit. So, you know, we did go to the parks every day. Well, it's getting a little better. So this week there was a lot going on at Disney. It was the opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It is the new land at Disney. It opened up at Disneyland in California a month or 2 ago. And it just had its premiere this week. It was also Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party started up, and that's a real popular event. It was also the start of Epcot's Food and Wine. If you've been watching my videos, you've been seeing me cover a lot of this. So I decided not to do the Mickey's Not So Scary, just way too expensive. You have to pay your park ticket, which I have a pass holder, so that's largely irrelevant. Then it's $79 a person, and then once you get in, my experience last year is not a positive one. It was really, really crowded. One of the things they have, I'm not real big on character meet and greets, but that's one of the things that they have at this. Characters you don't get to see very often, and people start lining up for these things hours ahead of time. So by the time the actual party starts at 7 o'clock, there's, and I'm not exaggerating, 2.5 hour lines for some of this stuff. And I just think that that is, it's a little too much, so I didn't go to that. Now, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, that was another story. I did go to that, and I was anticipating that was going to be so crowded. Now, I don't know if it's because of the storm or just because people were anticipating that it was going to be crowded, so they stayed away, or maybe it's just not a popular attraction. I don't know, but it was not busy at all. I mean, it was busy, but it wasn't busy like you would think a premiere would be busy. Let me show you what I'm looking at right now. This is really cool. I have an old Corvette. It's a real car too. That car just sits here all the time. It's planted in place, sealed up. Windows are all blackened, I believe, so you can't look in. Let's walk up and find out, huh? So I don't think you can look in because they're completely, not even tinted, but completely black. And yeah, you can't. I don't even know if there's an interior in this car, but this is a real Corvette. You know, they put all fiberglass things out. Well, that's already fiberglass. So I got there, and you can see the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge video, and it was great. It was so realistic. It was unbelievable. You were completely immersed. So the next thing I started noticing was they were, as I said, getting ready for the hurricane. And that was really interesting to watch. They were putting away all the tables at Epcot. They have the food and wine. And you can see some of those food and wine videos. I have them up already. And the idea is to go around, it's almost like a folk fair, and try different foods they don't always have during the rest of the year. And it's really fun to do. Part of the problem is it's hard to find tables, so I always end up using garbage cans and everything else. Well, when the storm was coming, or they thought it was coming, they put all the tables away. And one day they closed all the parks early, all except Epcot. So of course, where does everyone go? Epcot. One night, that night they closed everything. So where was everybody? Everybody was at the resorts. And the resorts got real busy, and I did a video on that. So that was, you know, it was interesting to see, but it ended up being for nothing because there was no storm. There was very little rain. As a matter of fact, out of all the years I have been coming to Disney, it's a lot of years, this week may have been the best weather that I've ever had. They really were. I mean, they were hot. They were hot and humid, but aside from that, they weren't real stormy days. They weren't, you know, there's always that afternoon rain at Disney. Sometimes we didn't even have that. I don't know what just happened here. The guy came, I think he's doing pressure washing, and he came and he walked around the sidewalk. He walked around the sidewalk here where I am, and he was kind of looking at the ground, and then he walked away. So I think he was looking for things that maybe it's bug killer. Could be that. It looks more like that now that I see it. And I'll bet he's looking between the cracks to see if there's any sprouts coming up. So you know, that was quite an experience to see how they hunker down for a storm. I have friends that were here the last time a hurricane came through, and they told me very similar experiences, except they actually got weather. So that's what's going on. Oh, by the way, I have something really special that I'm going to be sending you this month. I'm not sending you a postcard. There's something else that relates. Oh, there goes that machine. I'm going to move away from this area. Something very special that relates to, oh boy, that's loud, isn't it? That relates to, I'll walk down this way. This is going to take me more toward the water. All right, I tried to finish that sentence 3 times now. I'm going to be sending you something very special that relates to my visit this week. I think it's kind of neat. I think that you're going to enjoy getting what I send you. It's Well, it's something you saw in the video. Let's just say that. Okay? Yeah, I'll show you this giant Duncan yo-yo. That's actually the stairwell that goes up to each of these levels, 4 levels as you can see. And inside there, I'll go inside and show you what it's like. So you can see in here is a stairwell. And I'm not walking all the way to the top, but we're inside that yo-yo. That's pretty cool. So what else do we do this week? That's about it. Bus service is really good here at Disney. Next week I'm heading to Norfolk, Virginia. I don't really know what I'm going to find there, but I'm sure it'll be fun because I always have fun no matter where I go. And if there's any questions you ever have of me, feel free to drop me a line. You know, I always read the comments. The best way to get hold of me, surprisingly enough, is not through the Patreon. It's through, for now anyways, it's through my Gmail accounts. But if you want to leave your comments here, I certainly get those. I have 2 channels, as you know, so I have 2 emails. I have uberhints@gmail.com and magicremarkable@gmail.com. Those are my 2 emails. So you can write to those, you can leave a comment here. Love to hear from you guys. Anything else that you want, just let me know. And you know, keep your eye on that mailbox. You got some stuff coming. Oh, it's getting windy down here. I'm going to try to stay close to the building or you're not going to be able to hear anything that I say. I still have to go on my special lunch today, which I'll be putting on a video, and that Pandora ride, which I'll certainly be capturing on video. Then I head back to Wisconsin for, what, 2 days? And then I'm going to be heading out to Virginia. So that's what's going on in my world. And let me show you a little bit of this Pop Century. I just walked around the 60s area. So this is the 60s area. It's where I'm staying this week. Over there, that big word Pop. That's where the main entry to the lobby and the food area is. And of course, this is the pool. And as we go around, I'm in this building here by the giant Play-Doh. And it is giant. As you can see, it goes all the way up to the beginning of the 4th floor. Really, really big. And in fact, the giraffe goes almost to the top of the building. So thanks for being a Patreon sponsor. And I do consider everybody who's a sponsor to be part of this channel. And I hope I'm delivering the content you expect. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. And here's my floor.